stand for and what I support and things I want to be able to support.
She's got to formulate her own understanding and opinion about life. We all have our own perspectives, and that's what makes us all unique. We all have our own opinions and experiences. And I'm just proud that she found the level of comfort to be able to speak on something that she had no idea existed. I didn't know existed. Retirement inequality, women retire with 30% less income in retirement than men. I didn't know that was a thing. And I think from being a girl dad, having her come along has awakened my senses to things that my wife has experienced as a player, that I've seen firsthand being a girls basketball coach, that the girls endure. It's been pretty tremendous, honestly.
And as a fellow girl dad, Curry's involvement with an equality campaign was notable, but not surprising for Azzi, who said she was drawn to his brand as much for his off-the-court persona as his championship pedigree.
He's a very big family man. You can see that with his kids, with his wife. And I'm huge with my family. Like, I do everything with them. They're with me here on this trip. So I think the family aspect was huge, and just kind of his personality. Like, he welcomed me in right away. Even when I was at camp, he made me feel part of that group and special. Just being here, like, I feel like I'm really part of this brand, part of this team, part of the Curry family, and I couldn't be more grateful.
Kobe Bryant, forever, of course, remembered as an NBA legend, and rightfully so, but as a father of 4 daughters?
Curry's also filled a void that Azzi and others thought might be left empty after Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gigi died tragically in a helicopter crash in 2020. Bryant had been arguably the biggest advocate in the world for the women's game, and without him, it was unclear who would carry that torch.
That was kind of a big question when Kobe died, was like who was gonna step up and continue to like help fight for women's basketball and help kind of raise the game. And I think Steph is doing a really good job of like trying, like inviting women to his camp and little things like that that are helping to elevate the women's game. And like this deal is incredible, being not just the first like NIL deal in College Athlete, but also the first female signed to his brand. I don't even really know what word to use to describe that feeling when I first signed it, and being here now, it means so much.
Azzi's connection to and reliance on her own family was on full display in LA. She'd come to the West Coast with her mom, dad, and 2 younger brothers, and her success as a burgeoning business provides some fun perks.
On trips like this, I love just watching my parents' reaction because they've been in the game. They both played in college and they played professionally. So seeing their reaction to kind of where I am, it's just really funny. I mean, like my dad loves being around all these NBA players. My mom loves seeing all these high-level workouts. So seeing like them happy, it's really fun.
Azzi's parents both played Division I basketball in college and coached her throughout her youth, which she credits made her the way she is. Even if sometimes it's not so easy to grow up with 2 coaches for parents.
Part of the reason that I am the way I am is because, well, they didn't really compliment much, so I always had something to work on. I was always working hard. I think they did a very good job, obviously. When I played really bad, I would hear about that, but they did a really good job of separating mom and dad from coach.
Yeah.
Like I remember when I was younger, my dad would take me out to get ice cream and stuff after games.
That was something when we started coaching that we were very cognizant of not having that coach role carry over. I harbor things a little more. So sometimes they'd go get ice cream and I'd be like, yo, she sucked. Why are you getting ice cream? That wasn't the ice cream. But then he really likes ice cream too, so.
And when I started to coach her, I definitely did not want to have that contentious relationship at all. And so the ice cream thing became a reminder to me, a treat to, like, now I get to go back and be dad.
Katie Fudd played at NC State and then Georgetown in the late 1990s, as women's basketball was starting to gain a bit of traction and the WNBA was in its formative years. She had to deal with inequalities that she never wanted her daughter to face. When it came time for Azzi to pick a school, her mom had a big influence.
When Azzi was getting recruited, I felt very strongly about what is the culture. And when I was at Georgetown, it's a men's basketball program and not really much else. It's evolved since then, but our practice time was limited on the court based on when the men practiced, or it was just all based around the men. So there's a lot of schools that she was looking at where they had some storied men's programs. But how do the players interact? How does, what's the culture on the campus like? Let's make sure that we're doing the right thing by both the men's and the women's program.
Azzi's parents parents were able to go from being her coaches to fans in the stands, but now have evolved into her advisory board on her branding deals.
I think we spent the better part of the pandemic on seminars and YouTube and listening, talk. I probably have a 4-year degree in and of itself on NIL, just because of just making sure we understood it as well as we could to help her, but also connecting with the right people.
I think the fact that we have such a great relationship with her, she trusts us implicitly that we're not going to put her in a situation that, one, she doesn't support the company or doesn't, she wants authentic stuff, and then we're not going to put her in a situation that just isn't good for her.
As the new season starts, AZ's NIL deals, existing and new, will be in the background. Expectations are always high at UConn, and even more attention will be on her, given Becker's injury. While new NIL opportunities grab headlines and attention, AZ has a clear focus on what's ahead.
How do you raise your NIL game? How do you grow it in a way that's authentically AZ?
But I think now that I have my first year kind of under my belt, I've established my brands with all these other people, but I think like I need to be able to kind of like establish my own brand more, like the AZ brand, and like post about myself more as well. But I think just knowing that what your priorities are, that my priorities right now are basketball at school, because without good grades, I wouldn't be able to play, and without basketball, I wouldn't have these opportunities and these deals.
You will shed light on dark matter. You will make aging optional. Because when you subscribe to Bloomberg, you won't just get news. You will get insight into limitless possibilities. Before you change the world, Bloomberg.
There's so many people that will come to you and they will say, I want to look like Rihanna. I want this. I'm like, you don't want to look like Rihanna. You want what Rihanna feels like when you see Rihanna.
In 2002, a 20-year-old pre-med student in Chicago had an idea Jason Bolden had come to the Windy City from his hometown of St. Louis with plans to follow an admirable